I think these are such serious times that we have to be careful not to say things casually. So I'll be careful in the press conference, but to say that, of course, like all of you and everyone watching them, you know, these are very, very heavy times. We're all living it together.
¿Hay una pregunta? Sí. Enhorabuena. Quisiera preguntar a Alice, quisiera preguntar a Alice cómo consiguió que el elenco transmitiese la complejidad y profundidad de los propios personajes, y a Angelina de qué herramientas se valió para no perder el equilibrio emocional, dado que en el rodaje se trataban cuestiones que la afectaban en lo personal. Muchas gracias.
Can you repeat the question?
Can you repeat, because it was not no flexing in space, but I'm here, but it's...
Sí, Alice, ¿cómo consiguió que el elenco transmitiese la profundidad y complejidad de sus personajes? Y Angelina, ¿de qué herramientas se valió para mantener el equilibrio emocional durante el rodaje, dado que se trataban cuestiones que le afectaban en lo personal? Gracias.
Yeah, it's about how we work together, and I think what I admire in Angelina is her difference, that she has her own way. She's a rebel, and I think it was also what was the character of Maxine Walker, and Angelina really dedicated herself to the parts, and it's something I really admire in actors, like to abandon yourself, to show your, it's smiling, but it's true, it's like your vulnerability, and it's something that is hard. Sometimes it's harder than to do action scenes or whatever, like just to show, like, behind everything, behind the media life, behind who you are really, behind who is the woman. It's really a film about women. It's not a film about a woman and about cancer. It's a film about a woman who has, and women, that we all are here. And so I think, yeah, Angelina works a lot, I think, to show that fragility is vulnerability, and also French, as she speaks French in the movie. She's a bit of a French woman now. She can do the rest of the press conference in French. I want to hear some of them question in French.
What did you feel about the vulnerability of it? This was your first time.
This film is very special for me because it's genuinely the first time you get to see life in the fashion industry from an African woman's perspective, and especially a young African woman's perspective. Most of the time, it's not spoken about, that's why you've not seen it before. And at least making this story based on my personal story has really touched me, and it goes out to speak to so many other people out there, especially African girls. In this industry, being a model in the industry, I think people forget that when you're coming in, for instance, from a war zone, like Sudan, South Sudan in my case, sometimes we come from a world where it's not necessary to have internet, we don't have train systems. Life is so different. It's so different. So getting uprooted from that and then falling into a very big chaotic world of fashion can be very hard, and most of the time nobody really notices it. So I think that aspect is what Alice shows in the film when she's talking about Ada's story, and it's very important that people really see that for what it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was her first time on screen, and she also really worked a lot. Yeah, so I thank you also, because it's also your story that you share in the movie. You have studied pharmacy as the character, be a father. Yeah, and so there are many parts of her life. And I think it's what we wanted to show, like all those women connected to each other and like sharing stitches. And I wanted to show really parts of women's life, and I hope we will connect with other women in the world, and to say that you're not alone, and we can be strong, all women together.
Hello, Marco Consoli, La Stampa Daily, Italy. I have a question for Angelina Jolie. I'd like to ask you how close you feel to this character, considering that a few years ago you announced that you had surgery to prevent cancer. Beyond the health aspects, I'd like to know if you'd like to share your experience with other women who have to go through a similar journey and feel hurt in their private and love lives like the protagonist, and perhaps even in their professional lives if, like actresses or models, they use their bodies for work. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I did choose to have, because I lost my mother and my grandmother very young, and I have the BRCA gene, so I chose to have a double mastectomy about a decade ago, and then I've also had my ovaries removed, because that's also took my mother. And those are my choices. I don't say everybody should do it that way, but it's important to have the choice, and so that's, and I don't regret it. I think there's much to say about this, of course. And as Alice said, it is uniting, and for not just women, it's women, of course, and but anybody who's gone through something with someone, feels vulnerable and alone. There's something very particular to women's cancers because it obviously affects us, how we feel as women. And so I think it's very interesting and important, and maybe a message to anybody who's with a woman you love, to understand the way this film depicts the journey. And I think when I read it and I read that she was diagnosed, I had an idea of where the film was going to go. And I certainly didn't think it would end the way this film ends. And I didn't think that the man in the film would respond in the way he did, or that the desire would still be a part of the film. And I think that it's really important to understand that and to continue to live and be desirous and feel as a woman. And for those who love those women, to remind them that maybe that's something that you can do.
And talk about the love story as the friendship.
It's fun to put him on the spot.
What can I say? As you can see, the love of the level of tenderness and softness about all these like drug, because I was listening all these intelligent and brilliant women, and I feel that I just saw these things to say, So I don't know what to say, but it's true that Alice invited me, and as soon as I met Alice, you can tell in a minute that she was dedicated and she needed to tell the story. And after that, I entered in a room, in a place where all these women shared this amazing connection, and I felt that I was just there, a supportive actor. If you need me, at least what do you need me to do, and stuff like this. But obviously, this is why the movie is good. For me, it's because it speaks about cancer plus sex, obviously. Because, generally, when you speak about cancer, especially cancer of breast, movies are speaking with a pathetic tone. And it's not pathetic at all, this man. It can be dramatic in the movie, but it's also connected to the desire. And maybe, you know what? Because we are more strange than that, you human beings. Even with somebody loss of breath, perhaps to remove it, it can be more exciting, erotically. I mean, or erotism, you have to understand that men can be eroticized in multiple ways. And no, but it's about for real. Let me tell you.